can't see past your day-to-day existence. And I think that I was very interested in understanding what drives our everyday. What minute routine do you get into to just succumb some type of feeling of uneasiness? And a lot of my work just tries to bring about of thinking about why you act. Not that it's wrong, not that it's right. An artist's job is to push culture. An artist's job is to push boundaries. An artist's job is to make people question why things function and how they function, who they function for. People are just animals without art, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of functions that we do that are based on survival and instinct, and the one thing that is counterintuitive to that is the making of art. In my opinion, it's the artist's job to constantly define us and differentiate us from just existing. I get asked a lot, like, what type of art do you make? Or how do you see yourself in the art world? And how I see myself as just a life participant. And everybody has a story to tell, and everybody has a different way to tell that story. And I use my work to personify a lot of the feelings I have towards daily consuming or pop culture or just the minutiae of kind of working through life.
I have very important things to do. Is a fully fabricated replica of my living room. Inside of the dwelling I constructed for the space was my personal belongings, along with actual dirt, dust, cat hair, food remnants, and trash from my apartment. I chose to use my actions and obsessions as a point of judgment for the audience, in an attempt to generate a critical conversation regarding the participants' rituals and routines.
I think that a lot of artists pigeonhole themselves into being one thing. I paint, I draw, I sculpt, I pot, I see that the craft is just a catalyst to the concept, so I have a very fluid understanding of how important craft is, and it's only as important as the concept to me. Ceramics Without Ceramics is a little bit of a different conversation than I normally have, but it does touch on a lot of key things that you can find throughout my work. One of them is people's relationships with objects and how people understand and consume objects. So unlike a traditional ceramic show where you would go in and it would be the pottery or the ceramic sculptures that would be on display, what I've done is taken the stuff that would normally be in those vessels or in those vases and made them into sculptures that shape what the actual ceramic would look like. But if it doesn't function for someone and if you can't buy it or own it, does it still have that same impact? Do you still appreciate the concept behind what the ceramic was? I'm not actually having a conversation about ceramics. I'm using that as more of a catalyst to talk about a larger issue of the object still being so fetishized in the arts community. What I believe art is, in a more larger sense, it's about a conversation, it's about a critique on something that people participate in. It doesn't have to be something lofty. It could be about the color blue, and you have something new to say about that color. That, to me, is the concept. Creating any type of narrow road for yourself just skews whatever kind of work you would be making. So I think that I just try to stay open and really let what's happening around me define what I want to be talking about.